taking shots at the enemy. I'm gonna make it to the top, leave a legacy. If I got something to say, you better let me speak. Turn it up a new degree, bitch, you ain't seen anything. I pop off with the new rock, electronic, blow the sonic roof up. I'm too honest when I take a few shots. They're too toxic, need to take the noose off. And you cannot save me, 'cause I don't need saving. It's everything I've been chasing, all here for the taking. Don't wanna test your luck with me, I think I've had enough disease. I'm sick of all the bad thoughts, people who are half-nots. You were not as tough as I'm back, you know that I never left. I got tracks and some music that you never guess. I don't slack, don't lose, learn your lesson yet. When I get to choose what I do, I'm like a weapon. I'm not sharp as many, but got heart. I'm ready to change scars to envy, to win large and plenty. I like to play fast, never change back. Calling out, I'll pay back, 'cause I'm great at that. Oh, you cannot save me, 'cause I don't need saving. It's everything I've been chasing, all here for the taking. Don't wanna test your luck with me, I think I've had enough disease. I'm sick of all the bad thoughts, people who were half-nots. You were not as tough though. Don't wanna test your luck with me, I think I've had enough disease. I'm sick of all the bad thoughts, people who were half-nots, who were not as tough as me. Don't wanna test your luck with me, I think I've had enough disease. I'm sick of all the bad thoughts, people who were half-nots, who were not as tough as me.
Hello, welcome back. Hello, it's been such a long time. Welcome. It is the FPL Agony Christmas special for Gameweek 17. It has been such a long time. The World Cup did provide a much needed break, but we are so glad to be back and so excited to be sharing a new episode with you all. Where do I start? Well, let's start by introducing our Cockney experts in residence. They are like Del Boy and Rodney dressed as Batman and Robin, running to save the day from your FPL woes. Let's hear it, please, for Scott and Signore.
Welcome to the party, pal.
Oh, wow. It's fantastic. Thank you for everyone commenting in the chat so far. It's lovely to see lots of you. We've got Gaza and Gaz joining us. Thank you so much. It's great to see you both again. And yeah, what a show we're in for. We've got lots to talk about today. I think we'll talk a little bit about the World Cup. I mean, we have to a little bit, I suppose. We've got an interesting debate, I think, coming lined up. But we are going to be talking about Game Week 17, the Boxing Day fixtures. Looking at our teams, obviously we've got that wild card and there's been a lot of decision making, and I don't even think the three of us are there yet. I think there's still a long way to go, but we can talk about it all together. And of course we have, as ever, the Christmas quiz coming up for you all to get involved with if you're watching us live. So, welcome. Have you had a nice break? Scott, how's your break been?
Yeah, it's been really lovely, not stressing about the silly things in life, you know. Been able to grow my hair a little bit, I've got me beard comb, of course. I'm not talking about the top of my head. And yeah, I'm all good. Can't complain, you know. It's nice to be back though. I've missed everyone. I've not spoke to you in a long time, you know. So it's nice.
Yes, yeah, no, we pretty much ignore each other when we're not doing this show. Signore, how's your break? You feeling well rested now?
I think so. I think I'm ready for the agonising that's coming up in the return of FPL. And, you know, Christmas ain't far away, is it? So I think I'm ready.
Yeah, absolutely.
Talk about stress. Christmas, bloody hell. It's come around quick, isn't it?
It has. There's so much to do.
Scott?
Am I cooking? No. We're going to perfect fried chicken, lads. Don't worry about that.
That traditional Christmas dinner.
Yeah.
FPL Arrow says, it feels like I've not seen you lads for years. It's much the same. It's so nice to reconnect with the FPL community again, isn't it, guys? I think it's
100%.
It makes it so special. So yes, thank you. Keep those comments coming. We are loving it. So let's start by talking about the World Cup. England did okay, didn't they? I think that was all right. Scott?
Yeah, fantastic. You know, got to see our quarterfinals. Can't believe it. Something to cheer about. I feel like we've won it.
It was Signore. Come on, let's put some positivity on the England performance during that break.
Do you know what? I think this defeat against France hurt more than the last few defeats in major tournaments because we deserved it more than anything. We didn't just get there by, you can call it the luck of the draw, who we had to play. You got players in front of you, obviously. And we played a French team who you could argue had been weakened through some injuries. But we deserved to beat them. You know, we did. And it just came down to a bit of the luck of the green.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was unfortunate, but we did see some, a few really good performances. And I'm just waiting for some of the newbie FPL players to start questioning why none of us have Jude Bellingham on our FPL teams. That's what I'm waiting for this evening. I'm sure that question will come up from somebody at some point. Where's Bellingham? I said, well, maybe he'll get signed by Man United next season, and then he'll be another Sancho. Hopefully not. Anyway, yes, let's start by talking about this. This is a debate that I know that we've had, on the FPL Agony Twitter. Messi versus Ronaldo. That debate. Do we think now, Signore, I'll start with you. Do we think that debate is finally settled? Do we think that question is now answered?
Yeah, do you know what? They're both outstanding in their own right. You know, they're both two of the best players that I think I've ever seen play the game. The way that I kind of put it down to is you could argue which album is better. Is it Michael Jackson's Thriller or Michael Jackson's Bad or Off the Wall? You know, but at the end of the day, you're gonna I was going to say you're going to come round to Thriller. You're eventually going to come round to Thriller because time and time again there are tunes on there that everyone relates to. So yeah, it's Messi for me.
Scott?
Wait, is this Top of the Pops Christmas special? Live?
I completely disagree with Signore on that one. I think Bad's a better album, but fine.
It's just not good, is it? Let's be honest. But anyway, back to the matter in hand. I think for me, watching Messi throughout the World Cup, I've never really watched him throughout a season when he was in La Liga or when he's playing for PSG in the French league and stuff. To watch him in the World Cup from start to finish, and he still plays like he's a 25-year-old, genuinely. Like, he's just absolutely incredible. And I think for him, he didn't need to win the World Cup. I think his doubters needed him to win the World Cup for them to shut up, I think. And I just feel like him doing that is the pinnacle of his career. Something that he's played for his country for God knows how many years. And they've had such a great year. I don't know when they won the Copa America. Was it at the end of last year or the start of this year? Whenever. But to win two major tournaments within 12 months and to finish it off with the World Cup and you see the players as well, his teammates, you go right up to him. It meant the world to him. And it's amazing. I'm so happy for him. And I think it settles it. I think he's the greatest player of all time, personally.
The thing is, for me as well, there's no other standout performer in the Argentinian team, really, as an outfielder. Martinez, the goalkeeper, done excellent throughout. Let's not dismiss that. The penalty shootouts and the final second save against France in extra time. But he done that on his own, Messi. I mean, their tactics were basically give it to him and see what he does. You know, it had that Diego Maradona feel of '86. Scott, you might be too young for this, but it felt like that. You know, where Maradona was the only standout player. So it was like that for me.
It's all right. I've got
He won on his
VHS.
own.
It's fine. I've seen the clips on.
FPL Arrow says we should be blessed we have both in our generation. Absolutely, and I completely agree.
Yeah.
You know, we have seen, it's very rare to see two giants at the same time. I think what cuts it for me with Messi is that the impact he still has when he plays. You know, that is evident. It's not like, and you know, I love David Beckham, and I'm not even putting him up near Messi or Ronaldo or anything like that. But I just feel like when certain players have been playing a long time, but coming into the end of their sort of international careers, it just feels David Beckham's endings felt like a series of exhibition matches. It kind of it was great and it was nice, and he was obviously important in many ways, not just in terms of playing, but with Messi, that impact is still evident. I mean, he's involved in so many goals in every game.
He could have headbutted Valrain in the chest, and you know.
Oh, poor Zizou. That was sad actually. That World Cup final when he did win with France and they didn't get. I mean, if anyone deserved to win again, you know, Zidane was certainly up there. But hey,
well, half my family didn't care, so you know.
Yeah, fair enough. He is in line. I mean, he's probably in line to take over the France job, right? That's what I've heard.
Yeah, if not soon, then in the future, surely.
Yeah, they brought it up during the World Cup final commentary. You know, there is talk of that, and he'll probably be a World Cup winner as a manager. We'll see. But anyway, we're talking about Messi, and I think you did a poll, Scott, on Twitter, asking is Messi now going to be known as the greatest of all time? So 126 people voted. Thank you so much for getting involved. And 75% said yes, he's the greatest of all time, and 25% said no. Imagine being the 25% who doesn't. I don't know. Sorry, I'm supposed to be impartial here, but yeah. I mean, I suppose one argument we've seen is that it's quite difficult to make those comparisons with Maradona and with Pele because of different generations and how much football's changed. I know that's come up on Twitter. Any thoughts on that in terms of comparisons with old players, Scott?
Sorry, you went a bit crackly there. I don't know if it was just me or it was your sound.
I think we all froze. Well, you froze, and I thought you were like completely puzzled while I was asking you a question.
Oh, it was me then. Typical.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Matt, I just want to say thanks to Arrows for flirting with us in the chat.
I know I did. I was going to bring that up. I might as well bring it up now. We're talking about giants of Messi and Ronaldo, but FPL Arrows thinks that we have 3 giants on screen right now. Beautiful.
That's very, very kind.
That's amazing.
Messi is on there as well, so.
I was just about to say that's used to in the Messi picture. Yeah, I'll take it. It's not me.
I think it's fair to say that you both are the Messi and Ronaldo of fantasy football. I think that's completely fair. Absolutely 100%. I'm sort of more the what would I be?
There's a Dan.
Solomon Kalou.
Wow.
Mark Noble.
I bet these are answers to the Christmas quiz, isn't it? You're giving them away already. Making notes.
Oh yeah, listen carefully, Scott. Take in what he says.
Anyway, yeah. I mean, just very quickly, comparisons with old players. Where do you think that stands? What are your thoughts on that? Like the different generations. Has football changed that much? Can we compare Messi with Maradona and Pele, Scott?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I just don't think we're going to see a player like him ever again. Well, at least for a good few years, in my opinion. I think if he was around back in the 80s, and when Argentina, Brazil winning World Cups, I think he'll be still known as the greatest player in the world. I really, really do. I think this is like it's like a once in a lifetime thing, and like in a generation where you actually see players like this. And you know, FPL Arrows is right to be blessed to see 2 players competing at such a high level. for many, many years. I mean, up until obviously Christmas, Ronaldo was still a Premier League player. So I think you've got to take notice of that. And as people that love sports as well, tremendous athletes to be able to cope with the demands of their environment to keep going at such a high level. I think it's fantastic, and I think that kind of puts them ahead of past legends, personally. Anyway,
yeah. Signore, what do you think?
I think greatness is greatness. The game has come a long way. Don't get me wrong, like players are fitter, they're looking after their bodies better and stuff, but you can't tell me that Messi or Ronaldo or Zidane or players of that bulk, they couldn't play in any era. Like Maradona could, Pele probably could. Like I never saw Pele play. But like Johan Cruyff, never saw him play. But I speak to my older generations, they're like they could play in any era. So why not?
Yeah,
absolutely. Well, look, thank you very much for that, gents. It's a very interesting debate, and I think we're all very blessed and lucky to see such giants of the game, as, according to FPL Agony, as the audience tonight, to see 3 giants of fantasy football. So thank you very much for those comments. Let's now talk about the upcoming game week. Let's talk about Gameweek 17, the Boxing Day fixtures. So here's what's coming up from the 26th of December onwards. So we have Brentford versus Spurs, Palace versus Fulham, Everton versus Wolves, Leicester versus Newcastle, Southampton v Brighton, Villa versus Liverpool, Arsenal versus West Ham, Chelsea versus Bournemouth, Man U versus Forest, and Leeds versus Man City. Signore, I'm going to come to you first regarding the fixtures. Looking at what's coming up, what is standing out to you as being an opportunity to pick up some points on this game week?
I'm hoping the John Hartson derby, really.
Yes, I knew it was coming.
it took you 7 seconds. 7 seconds. Come on, that's incredible.
So yeah, I'm hoping for the John Hartson derby. You see my team shortly, and you know why. But I'm hoping to pick up some points there. I'm also really interested in the Roberto Solano derby. So.
Oh wow!
Generally, I'm really interested in
alive! I tell you what, that's something I've missed. Is Signore naming all the games with the derbies? Yes, I've missed that tremendously. That's brilliant. Scotty, your thoughts on the upcoming fixtures? Anything that you're looking forward to, or any way you think you're going to pick up some points?
Well, I'm not going to steal his thunder, am I? I'm not going to come out with the, the Perez derby for Leicester and Newcastle, am I? Because no one cares about him. But no, I think let's talk facts. I think the Brentford and Tottenham game has a very good game in it. I believe it's the early kickoff. From my own knowledge, I'm sure Tottenham's history of Boxing Day isn't the best, and their history of early kickoffs isn't great either. And I believe that could be a very, very good London derby here. We'll look at our teams soon, but spoiler alert, I've got no Spurs in my team whatsoever for the moment. And
Wow.
I think that'll be a very, very good game, if I'm honest. I'm not looking at the London derby between Arsenal and West Ham because I'm slightly worried. I've been enjoying the fact not to be stressed out by club football. So we're not going to talk about that game. But there's some really good fixtures there. I think the Jesse Lingard derby, I feel like he's gonna now Ronaldo's gone from Man United. I think Lingard is gonna be scoring lots of goals for Manchester United. Oh no. He's playing for the opposite team now, isn't he? There's some really good fixtures. I think we're quite blessed. With the fixtures this Boxing Day.
Wow. Arsenal versus West Ham. Let's talk about that. Arsenal have some issues. Let's be honest. I mean, they're having a great season, but losing Jesus is a big loss, isn't it, Signore? And I think that's going to have an impact on many FPL team selections, right?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is for them, I think the World Cup came at the completely wrong time. They've never started the season so well. They look great, but they've had this break. Players have had to be put under more pressure, playing in the World Cup and stuff. So that, I mean, for all clubs, it's going to affect them differently. But for Arsenal, is it going to impact the run that they was on? Time will tell. But missing Jesus for them is huge.
I think there's a possibility some teams may benefit from the World Cup break, and there are some teams who have been on a really good run. Newcastle, they're away at Leicester. That's a tricky game because Leicester are sort of a little bit more on the up before the break. Newcastle having a great start to the season. Both will have plenty of rested players, and for me, that's a game I think to kind of oddly to look forward to, and hopefully an opportunity to pick up some points. I know lots of people have some Newcastle midfielders in their teams, Almiron, and so hopefully that's going to be a game that we're going to pick up on. Now, we've got some things in the chat which I'm going to post very quickly. Shush asks, anyone gone for Reece James? I reckon he could be huge. FPL Arrows does have Reece James. And Guppy, which clubs do each of you support? So let's tackle that last one. I am a sad Chelsea supporter. Signore?
I'm also a Chelsea supporter.
And go on, Scotty.
I'm the resident West Ham fan, unfortunately. You know,
Irons!
as I've already mentioned. In this...
Loving it. Well, okay. Without further ado, let's look at our team's selection. Now, I will stress for the three of us, this is going to change. This is going to change, man. Because even from our conversation tonight, I'm sure I'm going to have many doubts in our heads. So here are the three teams. So, Signore, we're going to start with yours. You have gone with Kepa in goal in your starting 11 at the moment. Trippier, who's that? Dalot, Cancelo at the back. Salah, Saka, Martinelli and Rashford in midfield. Wilson, Haaland and Mitrovic up front. And on your bench, you have Ward, Almiron, Patterson and Williams. I'd like talk us through your team, please, Signor, if you could. But I am really interested in why you have Almiron on the bench as well. So take it away.
Well, I was going to switch up my game because I'm not doing great in a minute. Let's be honest. So I was going to switch up my game and play 3-5-2, but then I looked at the midfield option and there's so much on offer there. So I was a bit like, I need to keep some healthy midfielders in case the striker's not quite doing it or whatever. And I've gone for what I think is a healthy front three. So I'm trying to think, who would I drop? And at the minute, it's Almiron, you know, because there's a lot going through my head. I've changed this team about 4 times as well since I submitted this to you, Matt. And
that's already out of date.
And I mean, even like I thought, oh, do you know what? I put Dalot in defence from Man United. They've got a decent looking run, you know, play of whatever, and they might he might pick up some attacking points as well. So as soon as I put him in my team, what does this guy do? He thinks, oh, Signore's put him in my team. I might as well just put a hamstring injury. So he's on a yellow in a minute. Thanks, mate. Mitrovic, I forgot, was 1 yellow card away from a suspension. Can he play the next 3 games before that gets wiped? I don't know. You know, it's him. He's elbows and everything, isn't he? And I'm keeping my 2 cheap defenders, Patterson and Williams, because it frees up loads of funds. So I've got a lot going through my head. I might change one of my forwards. I might go to a really cheap forward and then go all out explosive in midfield. Reece James, everyone's talking about him, but I do not like the double up in Chelsea defence. I really don't like it. So I don't know yet, mate.
What cheap forward would you go for? Greenwood? I
want someone who does play though. So he would be great, but Greenwood would be a great option. He's got loads more funds, but I can't have 3. All my bench would be 4-point-something million.
Yeah, that is a problem.
Do I go for, like, how do you pronounce his name? Is it Edouard from Palace? He might be the next best one because he's 5.3, 5.2, something like that.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was looking at the three teams. There are lots of similarities. Scott, let's have a look at your one because I'm looking at some similarities there. You also have Kepa in goal. Not going to lie, gents, that blows my mind, but whatever. You've got Trippier, James, and Cancelo. So you've gone with James in a back three. Then you have Martinelli, Almiron, Salah, and Rashford in midfield. And you also have gone with three up front. You've gone with the corned beef Andy Carroll, Darwin Núñez. You've got, hey, I'm quoting you, Scott. I'm quoting you. Literally episode 1 of FPL Agony ever. That's what you said. Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll pick up some points indeed, this time. Yeah. So you've got Núñez, Haaland up front as captain, and Mitrovic. So lots of similarities there. On your bench, you have Ward, Gabriel, Andres, and Bueno. Sorry, the writing's really far away from my eyes here. So, Scott, talk us through your team selection.
We'll start with the corned beef Andy Carroll. I think with the injuries to Liverpool's front line, I think he's guaranteed starts now. I know he's starting tonight in the cup match. I think his numbers are good. I think his XG is quite good. He's guaranteed starts now, in my opinion, and I think he's the closest you're going to get to Kane. And if you can't get up to a Kane, then to be honest, if you want to go kind of semi-heavy on your front line, then he's the next best player. I really, really do. Apart from obviously the main man in the middle of our screens in terms of Haaland. So I've gone for that. For that reason. In terms of gone for Kepa for keeper, or keeper for Kepa. I don't know how you want to say it. I just think, look, you Chelsea fans know more, but I believe that, to get a £4.5 million starting goalkeeper who plays for a top 6 team. Sorry, I didn't say top 4, but I think it's a steal. And if you get, your first few fixtures are quite good and have a double game week coming up, I won't be a part of it. The James thing is still a bit unsure. I might take him out, not due to his injury, just because obviously 5.8 million, you can do a little bit better maybe if you downgrade and upgrade elsewhere. I think if he plays and he's starting, and if he's in that right wing back position, he's basically playing as a forward. He's so far forward. He is so frustrating because he can get a 1 point, a 2 point, and then he'll hit you with a 19 pointer. So whenever I've owned him permanently, he's never returned for me. Whenever I've owned him on a free hit, he smashes it for me. So he's one of the ones I'm not too sure about. But yeah, I mean, we can all talk about the Salah debate. I've gone Salah over De Bruyne. Obviously, I'm not really sure of the score at the moment in their cup match, but it's one of those ones. I don't think much has been said about Rashford so far. I think he had a great game last night. I think he should have had a few more minutes in the World Cup for us. I think he's going to have a really good few games here, and I really want to be a part of it. I think due to the template as well, he's in most people's squads. I'm not missing out on that either, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. Before we look at my team, I've got a question for you both. You haven't gone with Tony up front as one of your striking options, and I'm really curious as to why, because he is up there in terms of scorers this season. So, Signore, why not Tony?
A couple of things. Brentford's fixtures look a bit challenging at the minute, but he made some decisions, shall we say, at his previous clubs that the FA are looking at, and there's talk of him not playing for a while.
And Scott, what do you why? There's similar reasons for not having Tony, because he's seriously up there in terms of number of goals scored this season.
If you want me to put my money on why I haven't got him, I think it's a dangerous game to play. I believe that if you have him as your third choice, you might as well have Greenwood for 4.2 million if you're going for Tony. I mean, he is the most. I think at one point up until last week, he was the most selected. He was the most selected striker in choice, but yeah, that's not going to happen for now.
That was quality. Well done. But there will be people asking that question. That was amazing. Bravo.
Okay.
Wow.
I need a moment.
Oh, deep breaths, everyone. That's twice, Scott. I mean, there was a moment before the show when then Scott said something amazing that when we couldn't speak for, and now I think we're at the same similar point again. I think that's a great opportunity for us to go to the chat and some of the things you've been saying. So, Gaza, Getty FPL says no Brighton players, could be a triple game week soon. That's something you flagged up on Instagram, Signore. It could very well happen, but none of us have gone really with any. We haven't got any Brighton players in anywhere on our team, I don't think. So, yeah, we might have to do some. Would you take a -4 if Brighton get a triple game week, Signore?
Well, potentially. I mean, Trossard comes straight in for sure, and then do you gamble on like a Welbeck or a Gross, or I don't know. Sorry, I said.
Scott can barely hold it together as well. I'm not sure. Wow. So Guppy says, Edouard, because you mentioned Edouard earlier, he's in his team. Just don't know about if he's going to get the minutes. We'll be getting a score update from Tom FPL. It's 1-1 in the match with City and Liverpool. Who scored? I was looking it up while Scott made his amazing joke. Carvalho. With an equaliser after 20 minutes. So, yes, Tom FPL has also switched from De Bruyne to Salah. I think I think that's the right move. I do. And I know Liverpool have had a really iffy start to the season, but I cannot put such an expensive player in my team with Pep Roulette being a genuine threat and of wasted money. I don't know if you felt the same way, because I think we've all gone for Salah over KDB. Scott, you can barely hold it together, mate, but go on. Why did you pick Salah over KDB?
Sorry, did someone say Danny Welbeck? No, it's so tricky because I could easily switch right now. I mean, we all could switch right now, but it's one of those that KDB does have a double game week. So if you really wanted to jump on him for that double game week, you can save a transfer to bring him in, depending if it's going to be a long-term pick or not, obviously. You do worry about Pep Roulette. I mean, I'm worried about what I've got, and I've only got 2 Man City players that I'd seemingly nailed in my team, you know? Mm-hmm. So I do understand why people are going Salah over De Bruyne. I understand why people are going De Bruyne over Salah, but I think it's a bit of a knee-jerk now to watch them and go, right, because Liverpool have a weakened team and Salah's been a bit quiet, I'm going to bring KDB in for the Premier League. I think it's a completely different ballgame. So I wouldn't necessarily pay attention to that. I think Salah versus Villa alongside Darwin, I mean, Villa more than likely not going to have Martinez in their squad, who's obviously just celebrating Argentina's World Cup win. So their backup goalkeeper is Olsen, who is an ex-Everton goalkeeper, I believe, and he has played 3 games for for Aston Villa, and he's conceded 4, 3, and a 3. So again, you want to be involved if you've got Salah and you expect him to return those fixtures. And if he doesn't, then you can easily just go back to De Bruyne for those double game weeks. I think it's just it's a nice way of doing it. You mentioned something about Brighton, and if we do hear news of a Brighton double or madly triple game week before the Boxing Day deadline, I'm going to take Almiron out for Trossard. Simple as that. I've got enough money in the bank to do it. And I think that without Almiron's double game weeks coming up at all, I think it's just an easy fixture and an easy decision, to make, and bring Trossard in, and he would be my Brighton could be captain. If it was a triple game week, I think if you've got to jump on it, haven't you? Really, because Trossard will start at least if it is a triple. Bloody hell, I'm sure he will start at least 2 or 3 of those fixtures. So yeah, absolutely. I think you're in it to win it. You know, I know we've been burnt before. Weghorst captain last season when he had a double. Dennis when he was captain, when everyone made him captain, and he got a yellow card in the first 40 minutes of the first fixture, which ruled him out for the next game. But you're all going to make those decisions, aren't you? You're still going to jump in on a double game week player. So yeah, I would look into it. But I think Trossard will be the one I'm keeping an eye on before Boxing Day, to be honest. So
Yeah. Oh, Scott's gone. There you go. You're back now.
I'm back.
Right.
Yeah,
Thank you for that. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm going to very quickly go through my team because it's not very interesting. But I have made similar decisions to you. Now, I started in a place when I was looking towards that double game week that Fulham and Chelsea both have. And I ended up with Chelsea players in my team. And I just couldn't go through with it. I'll be honest with you. Like, I had Kepa in goal, I had James in defence, and then I think I had Mount in my midfield. In preparation for that double game week, and I just couldn't bring myself to do it. And I say it as a Chelsea fan, it's the moment I took them out, my team just suddenly got a lot better. So this is where I've landed. I've gone with Ramsdale purely for a financial point of view because I needed money to shore up my midfield. Trippier, Gabriel, and Cancelo as a back three. Now, unlike you two, I've gone with 5 in midfield. And I'll explain why in a moment. I've gone with Saka and Salah, Almiron, Rashford and Andreas. I've gone with Andreas in my midfield over Mitrovic, who notice is on the bench, because Andreas picks up points. He's never let me down. I've had him in my team since like day one, and he has been solid. He's been like a really good luck omen to me, so I've kept him in there. I've gone with Haaland, as have you have, for the captain. He's going to be so well rested. He's on 24 goals in all competitions this season. It's not even Boxing Day. I mean, the stats are insane. 2-1 in the City game. Mahrez got the goal. Thank you very much for the update, FPL Arrows. Thank you, guys. Yeah. So, I mean, that's crazy. I mean, he's the first one in everyone's team, I think. I think everyone's got him. Like Scott, I've also gone with Corned Beef Andy Carroll as my other striker. And oh look, we get the wow! I feel like I'm on like what's that? What's the BBC? BBC
Unbelievable, Jeff.
Unbelievable, Jeff. CFAX. I'm on CFAX. Get the FPLs 2-2. Salah scores. Amazing stuff.
Lovely jubbly.
Wow,
Jubbly.
I think everyone's watching that match instead.
I believe that all of the KDB owners have now switched to Salah. Just saying in the last 2 minutes. I've just seen the submit button a couple of times.
Yeah, we'll check out the transferred in column on the FPL app in a bit. And Corned Beef Andy Carroll got an assist for that goal. So I think me and you are quite correct on that, Scott. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just to recap, I've got Kepa on the bench. I might change that. I hate having Chelsea players on my team. Mitrovic, I've got him on my bench ready for that double game week. I've got Castagna, and I've been practicing saying his name after that last faux pas when you called me Paul Merson. And I've got Patterson just as a cheap addition on my bench.
I'm sure that was the last stream we did, wasn't it?
I think so. I ended up putting the highlights.
That was the real reason for the absence, just because we couldn't get over Castagna.
No, Castagni, I think I said.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, that was it.
Right. So, yes, George agrees. This is the sound of KDB owners switching back to Salah, I think. Yeah.
Nice one, George. You're my guy.
Yeah, absolutely. Amazing stuff. So, look, they're the teams. I think we've all made pretty similar decisions, and I think the three of us are almost certainly going to change it to something completely different by Boxing Day. Can I just ask, before we go on to the next bit of the show... Oh, thank you, Gaz. Gaz says, all great teams, them lads. So thank you, Gaz, for your support.
Thanks, mate.
You'll probably still get more points than us this week. But there we go. Good, but not good enough. I was going to ask a question. I forgot what my question was. This is it. Right. Who were the people that nearly made it into your teams? Because that's what we need to talk about. For me, personally, it was the midfield. That was the most tricky thing to get right. Do I have Martinelli? Do I have Saka? Do I have Mount in for that double game week? I mean, no. You, Scott, I know you were thinking about Kulusevski and things like that. So we'll go to you, Scott, first. Who were the nearly players that nearly made it in, but you might be worth keeping an eye on?
Yeah, I mean, nearly could still be brought in before the deadline on Boxing Day. I think, as you said, Kulusevski is one of them. What's his name, Signore?
Kula Shaker.
It sounds like a Pokemon, but yeah, that's fine. I think he, if you know, are you still going on, mate? I'm trying to talk
Flaky.
Right, so give me some water. No, I think Kulusevski is one of them. I think obviously in terms of trying to cover, I hate the word cover and use it, but like to cover the Spurs attack, he's going to play every minute now with Richarlison out. So there's a chance he still comes in. I'm really liking Signore's Saka pick and your pick as well, Matt. I think it's absolutely solid. I think it could be worth doubling up on Arsenal's attack with Martinelli. I really like it. I think it's those two that are really like, I think they're the ones I'm worried about a little bit.
Signore, what about you? Who are the nearlies for you?
Well, purely just to free up some funds, it was maybe downgrading Saka for Odegaard. And then, because, look, I never considered Nunez. I really didn't. But everyone seems to be jumping on this bandwagon. And I'm like, hold on, I've been here before. Right? So yeah, that's the big one for me. It's not so much about who I've missed out on. It's just making sure I've got secure picks.
So is FOMO a bit at play for you? Do you think you might jump on that Nunez bandwagon? I mean, a lot of people are transferring in Odegaard. He's one of the most transferred in midfielders for this game week as well, and that's not a bad shout. So do you think that's a move you might make, Signore?
Potentially. It just don't sit right with me to get rid of Saka.
Yeah, that's tricky. I think maybe just look at like my team and copy that.
or Arrows, if FPL Arrows can show me their team. And then
Yeah. Just send us your team over, Gas. That would be great. George says, let's go through some comments. George says that Brandon Williams is a good option for the bench at 3.8. Even if he won't play, very rarely do you need the third player on the bench anyway. I mean, if you're really short on cash, going for a 3.8 player is certainly the way to do it. It's just, it can be tricky if you're gonna. None of us have used our bench boost yet, and we want to have benches in decent shape. I guess in preparation for that. FPL Arrows, Gaz says it's not coming up for some reason. There we go. So Kulusevski, Saka, Foden, and Maddison for him. Who are the ones? Ooh. That he's, I'm assuming that's who you've gone for, Gaz. It's quite a midfield. I'm not sure about Foden. I can't do Man City with midfielders.
I looked at Gaz's team earlier today, and I think these are the ones he's missing out on, I believe. I don't think he's got any of them there.
Right, okay. I was going to say.
I think he's got Harry Kane up top, which isn't. It's such a pick, isn't it? With the double game week coming up. I mean, he likes to score against Man City and Arsenal, and his double game week is Man City and Arsenal. So, I mean, you've got Kane, aren't you? You're laughing. You're not missing out on Darwin if you've got Kane. It's as simple as that, really. Maddison is another one, though. People, I mean, at the start of the season, we had. When we started up the channel, we looked at videos and we did shorts all about the £8 million midfielder. We did sections on the show about the £8 million midfielder. And in the end, to be quite honest, over the long haul, Maddison was that player. He was that £8 million midfielder that half of us didn't have. And his fixtures look good. And they turn after game week 19. I'm going to be jumping. Yeah. I think I'm going to be jumping on. So I need to save money somewhere along the line. Potentially a Rashford out after game week 19. To a Maddison, because I'll have the cash to do that as long as I don't tinker too much now. Because I want to be on Maddison. I think that lovely fixture against Nottingham Forest back halfway through the first part of the season was lovely. I think he picked up like 18 points. You don't want to miss out on that, and I think he was so unlucky to get 0 minutes at the World Cup. And he's going to basically be fresh. That's the one. Actually, low key, that I would like in my squad, if I'm honest. Absolutely.
George says Saka is by far the best 8 million midfielder, in his opinion. I mean, he had a good World Cup. I know we talk about England, but he did all right. He's
done excellent.
Yeah.
To be honest, because I had Martinelli in my midfield as my Arsenal midfielder, and he had a really good start to the season. I feel like he wasn't quite picking up the points in the weeks running up to the World Cup, and I think Saka is the sort of natural replacement. Tricky, given their problems up front, and of course Arteta has hinted at playing Martinelli up front, which would be, well, you could end up having 4 strikers on your team if you play your cards right. There is that. Let's take a look now at the scout selection. Oh, is that my ring doorbell? Yes, sorry, my ring doorbell was going off and my dog's now barking. Sorry if you can hear that. Here is the scout selection. The team, because Signore, you posted this on our group chat and I thought it was quite interesting. So the scout selection.
I just thought your dog had an opinion, Matt.
Oh, she always does. Blah, blah, blah. I never get a word in edgeways around here. She'll start barking eventually. So let's have a look at the scout selection. We've got Ramsdale in goal, Cancelo, James and Shaw as a back 3. Zaha, Trossard, Martinelli and Rashford is a midfield. And Haaland, Kane and Nunes. What a front 3 that is. I'm looking at some of that team selection, but like, really? I'm not quite sure. What do I know? But that front 3, oof.
Again,
Get some
Nunez
points.
is in there. So this is what makes me feel like, am I missing out on something here? I don't know.
Yeah, I think you should go for Firmino for Liverpool, to be honest, John. I think that's
100%. Please, please do.
Let's see.
Oh, dear. Right, have we got another goal? Claire FPL giving us another update. Let's just check that game. I don't know. We might have another goal on there.
3-2.
Then everyone switches back
3-2.
Kevin De Bruyne.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, wait. Can you hear the submit buttons? Yeah.
Everyone's switching back from Salah to KDB.
This is like the generation game. Here we have a Kevin De Bruyne.
Gaz FPL Arrow says Matt's dog wants Kane up top. I did in my very first draft. He was up top for me, but no, I can't afford that. It's too much money. Any thoughts then before we move on to the final part of the show? Any thoughts then on the scout selection, or any final thoughts on your team selection? Scott, we'll start with you.
Well, I just wanted to give a massive shout out to the group chat on Twitter over the last 5 days or so, set up by Liam Tribble. I really want to appreciate the efforts he's put into kind of getting some of the community together and to get some new opinions on some stuff as well. And it leads into 2 of the selections here. Zaha. I mean, I could not go anywhere near that fella. I am not going anywhere near him. Every time you own him, he is so frustrating. Every time he's not in your squad, there he packs up a 15 pointer. I think it's 2 good fixtures. It's 2 good fixtures on paper. Fulham and I think, is it Bournemouth, their other game, Palace? It's nice, but it is going to be a 2-week punt. You're going to come straight off of him afterwards. So I see that and I've turned straight off of the scout selection. I'm sorry. And I think that's why your dog was barking, to be quite honest. She agrees, mate. She agrees. She's on my wavelength.
She don't like the scouts.
No, not at all. Not at all. Shaw's an interesting one. I think with the centre-backs out for Man United, they might be prone to conceding now. And I know Forest have picked up and whatnot. But Shaw at left-back, so for 4.8 million quid, I think it's a good option if you're going to hold him. Especially if you're going to have a bench player once you're... obviously, if you've got your starters in. But yes, it's a nice pick, I believe. You'd be if you want to take a punt on Shaw. I don't disagree with that one.
Okay, and Signore, because you shared this, what strikes you as interesting about the scout selection?
Again, I mean, for me personally, Nunez, because they've got on the bandwagon on this as well. I mean, there's a couple of different players in there like Trossard and Zaha. I think I don't know about Zaha. I think there's a bit of a trap there. Trossard. Double game week? Yeah. Triple game week? Yeah, definitely. Don't get me wrong. It don't matter who they're playing. So, I don't know. It was reassuring that there was a lot of players that I was thinking about that were in this team. But even so.
At the end of the day, who knows? It could go anyway. I mean, Boxing Day can throw up some amazing fixtures. We have a lot of very well-rested players as well, so it really can.
Yeah.
It really can go either way. I think what we'll do at this stage is we're going to do the final part of the show. Oh, you're looking forward to this. It is, of course, time for the Christmas quiz. That music is well loud. Let's turn that down a little bit. It's time for the Christmas quiz. Are you excited, guys?
Oh, I'm so excited. You can tell, can't you?
Here's a chance to show off your footballing knowledge of the FPL season so far, Boxing Day matches, and of course, some general trivia. And for those who are watching tonight's show, please do get involved in the comments. We have 10 questions, and they are of varying difficulty. I might need to provide some clues along the way. So, here's what I'll do. I'm gonna read out the question. I'm gonna let you both do it. The quiz format's a bit flawed because you could copy each other's answers. You're just gonna tell me what the answer is, and we'll see who's right. Are you ready to start?
Yeah,
so ready.
I'm so ready to this. I'd like to point out it was my wedding anniversary yesterday, and I spent my wedding anniversary evening, putting together this quiz.
Oh, good evening.
Oh, thanks so much.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. It was a very good evening. Right, okay. So let's get ready for the first quiz question. Do get involved if you're watching live. So here we go. Cristiano Ronaldo has worn the number 7 shirt at Manchester United, Real Madrid and Juventus. However, in his first season at Real Madrid, he wore a different number. What was it? Was it A, 8, B, 9, C, 10 or D, 11? Signore, what's your answer?
I believe it was B9.
Scott?
Yeah, just like the coordinates, B9.
B9. Well, the good news is it was correct. Very good. 1-1. Well done. The music's not playing anymore. I was hoping to have the music on loop, but I can put in a sound effect. You both got it right. Congratulations. Right, I want this Christmas music back on. This doesn't feel right. How can I make... Hang on. There we go. Let's put that back on.
Is that the dog clapping there, Matt? Is that the dog back in clapping, yeah?
Yeah, that's the dog. So George says 9. Everyone's saying 9.
Nice.
You're all just too smart. That's a little bit of an easy one to get you going. I just thought you'd get it warmed up. It's 1-1 at this point then. So well done. So everyone's got a point. I'm giving out points everywhere like they're Christmas sweets. So here is your second question. So put these Premier League teams in order of stadium size, biggest to smallest. You have Man City, Spurs, West Ham and Arsenal. Take a look at this. Get involved in the chat. Put these teams in order by their stadium size. Good luck.
Is this capacity? Or is
this
the
a
size
cheat?
of the
Yes.
This is...
Capacity. The number of people, the maximum number of people that can be in that watching a game.
All right, cool. Cool. Yeah, that's fine. I'm probably wrong, but I've got it. I think.
You think? Oh, God.
Yeah. I definitely think I've got it.
Well, Signore went first last time, so Scott, I'm going to let you have a go first then. What is the order of these Premier League stadiums, biggest to smallest?
Because this is where I probably actually failed to explore my own West Ham knowledge. But with West Ham, we obviously have some of the stadium cornered off. So in terms of, or blanked out seats. So if they're all there, we do actually go up in capacity. So I'm going to start with Manchester City, because I think it's just over 50 or just under 50,000. So that would be at the smallest. Oh, at biggest to smallest. Okay. Okay, just completely.
That's all right. Do it in the reverse. Do it in the reverse. That's fine.
Okay.
Make up your own rules.
So, thank you very much. It's my quiz. It's not.
He
but
does
yeah,
what he wants.
I'm going to start off with smallest Man City. Then I'm going to go Arsenal. Then Tottenham, and then West Ham.
Signore, what do you reckon?
See, I know about the West Ham thing as well. I don't think they count for the Premier League. So I'm going to go smallest to biggest. I'm going to go West Ham, City, Tottenham, Arsenal.
Okay, interesting. Well, neither of you got it right. However, Geddy FPL Gaza did get it right, because here are the stadium capacities. Tottenham with 62,850, then Arsenal with 60,704, then West Ham with 60,000, and then Man City with 53,400. No points for anyone except Geddy FPL. Well done, Geddy. And Scott's now going to kick off going, nah, man, Irons. Go on.
This ain't Christmas FPL Agony 2021. Thank you very much. We've got increasing capacity. I'm not having it.
All stats are correct as of 2017. Right. Anyway. Let's go now to our third question. It's still tied at 1-1, so let's see if anyone can press ahead. Well done, Geddy. Look, Geddy FPL's loving this. Boom in the chat. Yes, brilliant stuff. Here's the next question. So, which two players have scored the most number of goals on Boxing Day fixtures in the Premier League? There are two players off this list who have both scored the same amount. They are joint highest. So your four are Harry Kane, Robbie Keane, Robbie Fowler, and Alan Shearer. I think I saw both of your hands go up, but Signore, I think it's your turn to go first. So who are your two?
Right, I'm pretty confident on this because I'm pretty sure Robbie Fowler was the most scored player until recently, where Harry Kane equalled it. So I think it's A and C.
Okay, so you think it's Robbie Fowler and Harry Kane. Scotty?
Exactly the same, A and C. These are one of two things I know about Boxing Day in terms of goal scorers and another stat. So yeah, it's
okay.
A Harry Kane and C Robbie Fowler.
Okay. Well, I'm pleased to say that you've both picked up the points. Well done. It's Robbie Fowler and Harry Kane, who are both on 9. I imagine this Boxing Day, Kane will get that record, I think. Keane and Shearer both have 8. Well done to George, who also said Kane and Fowler. So well done for playing along. Excellent stuff. It's tied at 2-2. How exciting. This is amazing stuff. So, let's go to our next question. Which player is the odd one out and why? We have Thierry Henry, Frank Lampard, Kevin Phillips, and Gareth Bale. Who's the odd one out and why?
Ooh.
This feels a bit harsh, so just think about what day most of the fixtures are happening on and use that as a starting point.
Can I go very controversial and say Thierry Henry has never scored on Boxing Day?
Interesting. Okay, so Signore says Thierry Henry because he's never scored on Boxing Day. And Scotty, what do you reckon?
Well, I know Lampard has, because we played Chelsea at Upton Park many, many years ago. And him scoring against us, as he so did always, he scored one on Boxing Day, so it's not him.
West Ham legend. Irons. Look at the face of it.
I'm not giving in. I'm not giving in to such. I think he's a legend, by the way, Phillips. I think he's an absolute legend.
Yeah.
He played for all 72 league clubs, I believe.
He played for everyone.
It's incredible.
He's still playing through. He's still working his way through them.
I want to say either Phillips or Bale hasn't scored on Boxing Day.
Right.
I can't remember Gareth Bale scored. Kevin Phillips hasn't scored on Boxing Day.
Kevin Phillips hasn't scored on Boxing Day. FPL Arrows also thinks Phillips is the odd one out because the rest have scored on Boxing Day and Kevin Phillips haven't. You are all completely incorrect. The odd one out is Frank Lampard, because
It was
Thierry
against
Henry,
Chelsea.
Kevin Phillips, and Gareth Bale have all scored hat-tricks on Boxing Day fixtures at some point during the Premier League. So,
Bell had.
there you go.
Maybe the game I went to was on a Sunday then. It's the same thing, isn't it? Boxing Day, Sunday.
Close but no cigar. In fact, he wasn't even close. But there you go. Frank Lampard is the odd one out. Let's go to our next... Go on.
So, Scott, can I retrace your answer there? So you said something about Lampard never scoring against. Did I misheard that? Or?
No, I said I went to a game once where Lampard scored against us on Boxing Day.
Oh, right.
Clearly
Okay.
wasn't Boxing Day, was it?
So there we go. Excellent stuff. Let's go to our next question, which is this. Put these Jesuses in order from oldest to youngest. We have Jesus Corona from Sevilla, Jesus Navas from Sevilla, Gabriel Jesus from Arsenal, and Jesus Gamas, who used to play for Newcastle. Put them in order from oldest to youngest. Have fun.
I can see Harry Christade on there. So
Jesus Corona must be quite young because COVID only hit a few years ago, didn't it? So...
I said Jesus. That was brilliant. Jesus.
Oldest to youngest. All right. That's a great question, man. Youngest.
I've got an idea.
Go on.
Oh no, were you going first?
No, go on. You go first.
Oh, thank you. After you then.
Get the job done. Youngest. Oldest. Okay, I'll say Jesus Gamas is the oldest. Then I would probably say Jesus Navas is the second oldest. Then Jesus Corona and Gabriel Jesus is the youngest.
Okay. Thank you, Scott. Signore?
See, I'm going Navas, oldest, Gamas, second, Corona, and Gabriel, part 3.
Let's find out. One of you has got the answer right, and one of you hasn't. So this is an opportunity to pull ahead. So here we go. Jesus Games was the oldest in April 85. Jesus Navas in November 85. Or it was close. Jesus Corona, January 93. And Gabriel Jesus, April 97. So well done. And I think FPL Arrows got that one right as well.
Nice
so
one.
Well done, FPL Arrows. Which of course means then I've got to update these scores. Scott pulls ahead 3-2. Can you
very salty
can you feel the tension? I mean, it was close. It was a really good go. I thought it was a good question. All the Jesus is...
It's a great question.
Here's the next one. Maybe an opportunity for Signore to catch up. Which Premier League team scored 6 goals in 2000 against Leicester, the most number of goals scored by one team in a Boxing Day match? Was it A, Man U, B, Tottenham, C, Arsenal, or D, West Ham?
Excuse me, I kind of concur with this question.
22 years ago.
Yeah, 2 years. A year ago,
22
actually.
years ago.
Oh, okay.
You were all alive. Why are you complaining?
Do your maths, Scott. Like Scott did. Scott just saw 2000, just thought it was yesterday. Do you know what I mean?
No, last year, last year, Man City beat Leicester 6-3 on a Boxing Day fixture. And that doesn't really go in with this question, does it?
We're not talking about this. Like, this is 2000. I was still in school.
I picked these stats up from 2020, so shut up. If they're out of date, they're out of date. These stats are correct as of 2017. Shut it.
Wow. 2000.
I feel like Scott's looking around and he's looking it up. Signore, would you like to put in a question?
Because
Maybe he's got the answers on his wall.
No, I've got the big screen up, and it's
Yeah.
like a minute behind the stream. So I'm only just getting the question up. So I'm trying to see more scoring. So that's the truth.
Dear. So it's A, Man U,
Ah.
B, Tottenham, C, Arsenal, or D, West Ham. What do you think?
I'm gonna go Man United.
You're going to go Man U. Okay, Signore, what is your guess?
Oh man, I was thinking that, but now I'm not sure. I've got a funny feeling it's like Tottenham or Arsenal.
Is that
Arsenal.
your pick one?
I'm going Arsenal. Arsenal.
Signore levels. It's 3-3. Well done, Signore. It was Arsenal who scored the most number of goals in a Boxing Day match as of 2017. Well done.
I think Perez got a couple.
I can't remember. I wasn't there.
I don't know why. I don't know why, but that does ring a bell for some reason. I had to
We go.
Mate, you have no idea. I had to proper retrace how my life was in the year 2000 and try and think of the fixture.
Oh.
Sorry about that, mate. Sorry about that.
No one in the audience got it right. George said Tottenham. Gaz, FPL Arrow said Man U. So no points to the audience. But it is 3-3. Incredibly tense. Could be witnessing an amazing comeback. This feels like the World Cup final already. So let's go to the next question is this. In the current FPL season, Erling Haaland has currently scored the most goals with 18 in the Premier League. Who is currently second and third?
This is incredible because if these stats were from 2017, they knew a lot about it back in those years.
We're gone to up-to-date stats now.
All right, throw them at me then. Come on.
What do you mean throw them at you? You got to give me the answer. That's how this works. Who is second? There's no options. You got to tell me who's second and who's third.
Sorry, but there's some popular game shows on ITV that they don't go to the £1 million question and go, right, give me the answer, do they? They still give you 4 options.
Well, it's tied. It's pretty much $1 million question. It's tied 3-3. Think of this as penalties. Who's second and who's third? I don't necessarily need the order. Just give me the 2 players who are second and third.
Second's Harry Kane. It's got to be. I want to go Harry Kane.
I thought Kane Mitrovic.
Okay, so Signore, you're going Kane and Mitrovic. Scott, and you have to get both right to get the points, by the way.
I could either go tactical here and go with the same answer, so I'm not behind, or go for something. I'm going to go Harry Kane.
That don't sound right, though, does it?
It is Harry Kane. It's got to be. What other players we've got in the Premier League? Quite a few.
Koulibaly.
No, don't start that again. Stress me out all night. I'm going to be tactical. I'm going to go Mitrovic as well. Why not?
Okay, so you've both gone the same. I'm afraid neither of you get the points. Scott, you should have been a bit more of a betting man, because it's Harry Kane and Ivan Toney. Mitrovic is 4th.
Mate,
but it's close.
The second you put that out, I thought, who was in my team? Because I know they scored loads of points, and it was Tony. What a damn fool. What a fool.
Well done to Gaz. FPL Arrows, you got Kane and Tony. The audience can have a point for that one. Well done. It's still 3-3. It's still 3-3. I have no idea how many questions are left, by the way. At some point, this was just going to randomly end.
10, I believe.
Yeah, I don't know what question we're on. I've got no idea. Right, next question. In the current FPL season, Manchester City have scored the most goals so far at 40. Which teams are second and third?
So is FPL different to goals scored in real life? Yeah, Matthew, or is it the same?
This is the current FPL season. This is the current Premier League season. Man City have scored 40 goals so far. Who is second and third in this list for teams in terms of goals scored so far this season?
I've got one. I can't think of the
And this was pulled from the FPL app last night when I should have been on my anniversary.
Don't be looking for sympathy now. There's been some big scores so far this season, hasn't there?
I can remember one of them. I put the answers together. I can't remember the other one. Oh, I know who it is. I know who it is. I know who it is. It's fine. Yeah, I got it.
Arsenal are going to be in there. I think Arsenal got to be in there.
Let me get my poker face going. Interesting. I shall stroke my beard like Gandalf.
No, do you know what? I don't think. Do you know what? I think it's Tottenham and Newcastle.
Okay, so Signore's going for Spurs and Newcastle. Scott?
Arsenal has a lot of 1-0s.
Newcastle. Yeah, true. That's true, actually. Arsenal have had a lot of 1-0.
He said Leicester and Norwich.
Arsenal, Newcastle as well.
Arsenal, Newcastle as well. This is like a penalty
said
shootout. Well, where no one is going to get the scores.
I feel like there's one team I should have included and I haven't. And I'm gonna
so well done to George and well done to Geddy FPL. The answer is Arsenal followed by Spurs.
Man,
wow.
No one wants to win this quiz.
So we both had one of each then, didn't we? Wow.
Shocking stuff. Right, I'm sure there's some more questions. Here's the next one. How many points does Matt currently have in this season's FPL?
That is great.
Oh, is it A, 840, B, 930, C, 893, or D, 863? How many points have I got?
Signore, you might be a bit lost on this one because you don't look that far up.
No. These look like the code they used to go into Lost, the program, to keep the guy awake every 180 minutes. Was it Desmond? Yeah, Desmond punching those numbers, didn't he? Every 2 hours. I'm gonna go.
Too young, mate. Too young.
For God's sake, it was after the year 2000, Scott.
893. See,
You're going
I guess.
Have you looked it up?
No,
but
I was gonna.
Actually, do you know what? I actually don't know the answer. I'm just you looking around again. I actually don't know how many points I've got.
Do I go different? Because I was going to say C as well. Do I go D just to be different?
You're going to get last season's total up, aren't you?
I'm going to say, look, I think it is C, but just to.
Well, no. If you go for what you think. I don't know the answer. I can't actually remember.
I think it was C. I think it is C. But
you're both going for. What do you want to do?
Come.
You're going to both go C. Okay, that's fine. You're going to both go for C. I'd like to point out that one of these scores is Scott's scores, and one of these scores is Signore's scores, and one of them is just a random number. 893. So well done to George. Well done to Scott and Signore. We're at 4-all.
We're all parking the bus.
Exciting times. What a match this is turning out to be. This is no one should be watching. No one should be watching the Liverpool City game at all because this is where it's at.
I'm obviously A on that, aren't I?
Yes, you are, and Scott is B. D's just made up. So there we go. Sorry. I think we might be coming to the last question. Now, it's tied for all. This could be interesting. This might be the last question. I think this is. Which player is the odd one out and why? Here are the players. I've forgot his name. Juan Pablo Angel, Di Maria, Andy Carroll, and Zlatan.
I thought that was Darwin Nunez, but okay.
One of those players is the odd one out. And you have to tell me why as well. So if you get the odd one out, you don't get the point. In fact, actually, no. That's should I do this? No, just give me the answer. The odd one out and why. You got to be correct.
I did think Di Maria because he had short hair, but I don't think that's right.
I'm trying to think because obviously Juan Pablo Angel linked to Christmas maybe. Angel Di Maria is linked to Christmas.
Zlatan Ibrahimovic, was he one of the three wise men? How you gonna link that one?
Shush.
Signore, what are you going for?
Ibrahimovic, he's never played in the Prem.
Ibrahimovic, because he's never played in the Prem. And Scott, what are you going for?
No, Ibrahimovic, because he's never played a Boxing Day fixture.
He's never played a Boxing Day fixture, okay.
No, do you know, I'm sure I went to a game at London Stadium where Ibrahimovic scored against West Ham. No,
Geddy FPL is technically correct. He says Di Maria, because no ponytail. I mean, you can't argue with that, but that's not the answer.
Yeah, I said that first.
do you know what? I remember him playing Juan Pablo Angel. I thought he was such a good player. I'm going to go for him because he didn't play in the same decade.
Here's what's really annoying. Is Scott's train of thought earlier was absolutely right. The odd one out is Zlatan, because the other three have a Christmassy name. Angel Di Maria, Juan Pablo Angel, Andy Carroll.
There you go. So I technically win. Victory dance. Victory dance.
Oh my god.
I'm going to award a point to Signore
Well, thank you, and I accept
for getting the right one, but you didn't get the reason right, but you got the right one. You got the odd one out correct. So it's 5-4 to Signore. I think that's the last question. Yes, it is. That's the end.
Beautiful.
That's the end of the quiz. Amazing times. Let's turn off this Christmas music and put us all in full screen. Look at that. Right. Hopefully we've not frightened you too much with this. We have. We've done all right. It's been a lovely show. And tears of laughter in the chat from FPL Arrows, Geddy and George. Thank you very much for all the laughter and all the joy. It's been a lovely show, I think. It's been very nice, very festive.
Yes.
So I think we're going to wrap up the show there, but thank you very much, everybody, for joining in tonight's show in the chat. Thank you to Signore, thank you to Scott for playing along with this madness and being part of it. And of course, we're going to be back after Christmas, getting ready for the New Year's fixtures, doing another bumper edition show, and I'll come up with another quiz. There we go. Because Scott loves these quizzes, you can't get enough of them. Yes, Scott. Right, I think it's time to do the outro. Take it away. Can you remember it? Final quiz question.
yeah. I think I remember it.
So join us next time on FPL Agony, where we will share more stress, anxieties,
and pain that make us love. No,
That's not going to be a short, is it?
I've actually done it again.
Twice.
That make us love the pain of this game.
Yeah, I've got it. As soon as I said it, I realised what I've said.
Please,
You don't...
press the like button and subscribe on YouTube.
This is lame. Have another go. Have another go.
Let's do it again.
All right, we'll pretend that bit didn't happen. Guys, take it away with the outro.
So join Agony, where we will share more stress, anxieties,
and agony that make us love the pain of this game.
Hit that like button, share with a friend, and we'll see you soon after Christmas. Have a fantastic Christmas. All the best on Boxing Day. I hope you get all the presents you wish for. And of course, I hope that all of your arrows are green. Good night and Merry Christmas.